Most of us believe that death is instant. The heart stops and everything fades to black. But science tells a different and far more chilling story. In the minutes after your last heartbeat, your brain doesn't just shut down. It fights, it soldiers, and for a brief time, it may even relive your entire life. When the heart stops pumping, oxygen supply to the brain is cut off. Normally, we think the brain dies immediately, but research shows otherwise. Brain cells are surprisingly resilient. In fact, the brain can remain active for several minutes after death. Some studies suggest up to 7 minutes. In those final movements, the brain enters a strange and powerful state that scientists call post-mortem activity, almost like the mind is refusing to let go. To understand what happens, we need to look at brain waves, the electrical rhythms of the mind. The slowest are delta waves, linked to deep, dreamless sleep. Theta waves appear when you're drifting between wakefulness and sleep, or in meditation. Alpha waves are faster, and they dominate when you're relaxed but awake, like sitting quietly with your eyes closed. Beta waves take over when you're alert, thinking, or stressed. And then there are gamma waves, the fastest and perhaps the most mysterious. Gamma activity is tied to learning, memory, and consciousness itself. Here's the shocking part. In animal studies, when cardiac arrest occurred, the dying brain suddenly spiked in gamma activity. Instead of going silent, the brain lit up. Some researchers believe this could explain the vivid experiences people report during near death. The tunnel of light, the flashbacks, even the sense of floating outside the body. But the most extraordinary evidence came not from animals, but from a human being. In 2022, doctors in Canada were monitoring an 87-year-old man with severe epilepsy. He was connected to an EEG machine, which records brain activity, when he unexpectedly suffered cardiac arrest and died. For the first time in history, scientists were able to watch the brain of a dying person in real time. What they saw was astonishing. Even after his heart had stopped, his brain continued to produce organized electrical activity for around 30 seconds. And just like in the animal studies, his brain lit up with bursts of gamma oscillations. In fact, the sequence of brain waves looked strikingly similar to what we see when someone is recalling memories or dreaming. It was as if the man's final moments of life were spent reliving fragments of his past. Other research has shown similar results as well. In rare cases, brain activity has been detected for several minutes after death, sometimes up to 7 minutes, showing bursts of patterns that look almost like consciousness. This suggests that death isn't a switch that flips instantly, but a process where the brain produces one last electrical storm before going dark. The biology behind this is fascinating. As oxygen runs out, neurons fire chaotically, releasing massive waves of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, the very chemicals that regulate mood and perception. Some researchers even suggest the brain releases DMT, a powerful hallucinogen which could explain the surreal visions described by near-death survivors. So, what does this mean for us? It means that in the final movements, the brain doesn't simply fade away. It may surge into a hyperactive state filled with memory, awareness, and perhaps even visions. For medicine, this forces us to rethink the exact moment death occurs. And for philosophy, it raises a deeper question. Does consciousness cling to life longer than we ever imagined? One thing is certain. The brain doesn't go out quietly. It goes out in a storm of waves, thoughts, and memories. Thank you for watching.